The whole project has been an expression of freedom. It's really been like throwing seeds in the garden and watering the garden, and at the right time each seed is growing in the right way. And the whole center has gone through so many phases and chapters. All the spaces have been remade and remodeled time and time again. So it's like a dynamic process of growth. Unless I allow the old flowers to die, then new flowers can't be born. But the space itself, no, I feel like a Garden of Eden. And when I'm in the spaces, it feels like a magical garden, a secret garden. In this lifetime, I've had so many lives. I worked as a jeweler in Brazil. I worked as a cook in a retreat center. I worked as an interpreter in a psychiatric hospital. I've worked as a musician all around the world. I mean, there have been so many different expressions and chapters. It could be anywhere. Wherever I would be in the here and now.
Well, I actually got a recommendation from a fellow climbing friend who had gone to Hariharalaya maybe 5 years ago. And I asked her about places she's been, and she recommended the yoga retreat, and she said I would like it, so that's why I signed up for it. What I'm hoping to get out of this retreat is to reestablish my practice with yoga. I don't meditate at all, so I'm excited actually, because I want to incorporate that on a daily basis into my life. I feel that's really important. I guess what I'm looking forward to the most is like the amount of personal time we have, and the food is always great. I like that it's not yoga all the time, and you have like space to sort of hang out with yourself and other people, and the digital detox. It's going to be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we came specifically to do this.
Yeah, for the yoga retreat.
We chose Hariharalaya because Natty looked into it actually quite a lot, and she found it, and it looked a really amazing place to go, and felt like it was a good time for us to go, and yeah, we're coming here. So
yeah, it seemed like it had more than just yoga, like yoga, group activity, some other stuff to do, and it looked like it was in a really nice location. Honestly, I'm not quite sure yet what yoga is exactly to me. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this retreat. So, yeah, going to find out.
Yeah. Yoga to me, I think it's something that will help me heal myself, mentally and physically.
I found Hariharalaya on the internet, and I read the reviews from the visitors, and I liked it, and I said, let's try it, why not? There is no experience in yoga. It's the first time I tried. I do meditations since 20 years, for my own, at any time if I want to at home. Yes, I was in a retreat 5 years ago in a monastery in Thailand, and that was organized like a military camp.
So the retreat starts even before people come here. There's a process of preparation that begins even days before the retreat. And then everybody gathers together at a central meeting place in Siem Reap. So they gather as strangers, but very soon it becomes like a family. So people gather, and then we come together to the center in a caravan of tuk-tuks. And this is like a journey through time, going through the village, going through all of these layers, coming into this unknown space of exploration and discovery. So when people arrive at the center, we greet them with the traditional Cambodian blessing, with the folded hands, and offering them with the traditional Cambodian scarf. And then people arrive, and we have a tour of the center, where I take them around and I show them the campus, all the different spaces, and I start to provide some details about how to be in the space, about slowing down, about no technology, about silence and mindfulness. So we already start this process of deeper listening, of presence and awareness. take a moment to slow down, to turn back inside, slowing down from all the sights and sounds and activities, and coming back to the core, to your center, to your breath, to your heart.
Yeah, so I've been at Hariharalaya almost 2 years now, and it's been such an amazing experience working with someone like Joel, someone that's so deeply devoted and authentic with his path of Integral Yoga and the approach that we take here. Every day is an endless tap of inspiration from him. Each retreat can as well offer many challenges, because so often for people it's really the first time they've given themselves to dive deep into things like community living or this reconnection with nature, or really just self-inquiry, self-examination. And for a lot of people that can bring up a lot of emotion or challenges or struggles. We get to spend the time with 30 plus people from all over the world. So it's a multinational, really dynamic and interesting group of people. So every week affords this space to connect and converse on so many different levels.
I grew up in a middle-class Jewish family in the suburbs of Philadelphia, East Coast, United States. Time of shopping malls and does the whole thing need to be good, or can you cut that up too? Back in the 80s, times of shopping malls before the internet and all of this. And at the age of 5 years old, I was introduced to music through the double bass, the biggest instrument. And I fell in love with the music and passionately spent years and years exploring and diving into music. And this allowed me to travel. With the orchestra, I traveled through South America and Asia and Europe, and I got to see the world. There was so much more than this little world that I had been exposed to. So many different cultures, so much language, so many stories. I left the United States, which would be for most of the rest of my life, and moved to Quebec and studied linguistics and translation. So having learned several languages, I found myself in a space between the languages where I could see, where I could breathe without this cage, without all of this heaviness of language. At that same time, I was first initiated into a traditional path of yoga, Kriya Yoga, where we were taught the asana, breathing, and meditation. At that same time, I started experimenting with psychedelics. So the psychedelics combined with the yoga, combined with the language and music, really just opened me to infinite dimensions of life. When I arrived in Brazil, I was heading to the north. The idea was to spend time in the north. On the way, I stopped in a small town, Ouro Preto, black gold, and I met a jeweler who brought me into his workshop, and then I decided to stay on for a month and study jewelry, working with cutting gemstones and creating jewelry. 1 month turned into 6 months. But each phase of the journey has been so unexpected. At each moment, there was never an idea of what's next or what to do with this or where is this going. But it was just a clear, a inner clarity and a passion for the truth. And so each moment was so rich and overflowing with this feeling of truthfulness, of being in the right place, of being aligned. And I totally trusted that. I spent 3 years living in this community. But really 1 year in a community is equal to 10 years of regular life. Such intense, diverse experiences and learning that's going on each day. And so in addition to working in the kitchen or working in the garden, I was studying intensely the lives of the sages and saints, reading about the great enlightened masters who had come in recent times. After a few years living in this community, I felt like I was ready to really dedicate my life to the path and to the practice. And so I moved to a small ashram in Quebec, the Kriya Yoga ashram, and I went into silence, extended silence. At first I thought it would just be 1 month, but it ended up being 5-6 months of intensive silence, doing very intensive practice, 10+ hours a day of practice, and eating very little. So at that time it was really a time of deep purification and a deep awakening. So there are 5 main aspects to our approach that we take here. First one is what we call integral yoga, which means the whole journey, the whole path of coming home. So it's all the practices, not just the asana, but meditation, breathing, silence, and many other aspects that we use. Second one is retreat. This idea of stepping back, stepping out of our daily roles and responsibilities and taking time to listen, to breathe, to slow down and see what's working, what's not working, to reconnect with the heart, to reconnect with our intuition. The third aspect is community, right? This togetherness, sharing space, listening to one another, learning from one another, supporting one another. Fourth aspect is nature, or what I call the real world, right? It's reconnecting with the rhythm of life. So often we get trapped just in our human stories and our human problems. Right? But when we slow down and expand our awareness to include everything around us, then we feel more at home, we feel more connected. There's such an intelligence and a wisdom in all of life around us and within us. And then the fifth aspect of the program is creativity, right? Which includes also living in the flow, being in the moment, being natural and spontaneous.
So it's day 4 of the retreat, and so far it's been a really great experience. We had a silent morning, which was really nice to reflect and have some me time, even though people are around. The yoga has been really good. I actually was surprised at how sore I was. So it's been great physical, time here, and the teachers are great, and they've really helped with my alignment, actually. The meditation has been good, but it's definitely the hardest part of the retreat so far, and I don't have much experience with meditation, so that's probably why. And it's been really good because it's sort of forcing me to practice it, because on my own I probably would not. And I feel inspired to continue with my practice and with meditation daily. And Joel gave a really good talk today about continuing a daily practice and sort of the recipe, which was really nice. And it was inspiring, and I feel like I will continue it, and I hope to do so. But yeah, it's been a really good experience so far, and I met some great people, so I'm pretty happy that I'm here.
It's been 4 days of the most amazing, magical, different experiences you could put together in 4 days. I've gone through quite a lot of different emotions. I think you have as well.
Yeah, it's been quite difficult, but also really come a long way in the last 4 days, I feel.
Really amazing, beautiful place, and it's a really good place. I've been ill as well for the first 2 days, so it's kind of the nicest place to be ill, and but yeah, now I feel good and I feel really relaxed. Had massages, had some acupuncture, and the massage, I had a cranial sacrum massage, which was absolutely incredible. I've never felt anything like it.
My favourite thing so far was the ecstatic dance. So the reason why we're in the pool is because we just got really hot and sweaty letting go at the ecstatic dance, which was, it was loads of fun, just letting go. Everyone was really getting into it, and I really, really enjoyed that.
And before that, this evening after dinner, we have got the incredible ecstatic dance night. And this really leads beautifully into the silence. So we've got our very own DJ Joel. He is going to be coming along this evening with what I can only describe as the most incredible soundtrack that just makes you want to move your body. And it doesn't matter if you're somebody that doesn't normally dance. This isn't about when we stand in the corner of a bar and kind of nervously shuffle, trying to get somebody else's attention. This is about yourself. This is really about tuning in to your inner rhythm and just feeling the flow of your body, feeling the flow of your breath, and just letting go. So come along. It's going to start with a meditation, and that meditation gradually takes us into just a full-blown expression of movement, creativity, and love. There's going to be this wonderful music that I've spoken of. There's also going to be some flashing lights and just an opportunity to connect in with your rhythm and just let go. Let go.
Come back to the silence. So another important aspect of the retreat is silence. The silence is an invitation to a deeper listening. On the 4th day of the retreat, we have a full day of silence which culminates in a fire ceremony for purification, a way to let go of things that no longer serve us and to create space for the heart, space to breathe, space to be. So throughout the retreat, we have several Dharma talks. These talks are a chance to consider the deeper layers of our being, to let go of all the nonsense and noise of the mind, and really to listen to the heart, to tune ourselves with the wisdom of the heart. And then we can see automatically, we see clearly, all the answers are inside already. We already know, but we're playing this game that we don't know because the mind is making too much noise. The sacred cow is my cow. It's Kamadhenu. Some of you may have seen her in the pictures. I had a picture with her yesterday. In the pictures, this is my cow. She just had a baby whose name is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is now 1.5 months. And every morning I'm doing puja, I'm doing the incense and waving the lamp and flowers and chanting the mantra, and then I massage her body and I bring her banana leaves and fallen mangoes. And then I massage the baby cow. The baby cow, even I can hold her and pick her up and she jumps on me. It's very beautiful. And so yoga is this process of fine-tuning the body, heart, and mind. The body has so many parts: our nervous system, our cells, our bones, our organs, our blood. Now, all of this is in a flow, but it's subtle flow and it can get out of tune.
About 2.5 years ago, I felt that I was more and more disconnected to myself, that I lost my inner voice somehow, and I needed to do something, and a dream was to go travel. So I started traveling, and after a year or a year and a half, I realized that even if I go to all these places and if I'm not aware, it's like I don't experience the journey somehow. So I realized that I need to do more inner work with myself. So I started doing yoga, surfing, connecting with nature, and then I come across a friend. She's a friend today, and she told me about this retreat, and it sounded amazing. The retreat has been good in many ways. I really love the idea of having routines, waking up, doing yoga, meditation, and I also like the setup they have, like doing some asana, breath work, and then meditation. But also being a community and a group has been, for me, very amazing, especially when you've been traveling for a while solo.
meet my dad, I think he's a crazy man, but I know him a lot. I think he is a good man, and I think he is a very, very good man.
On first meeting Joel, I felt, in a sense, very daunted. He has such a powerful presence, and I almost felt that I wasn't worthy to be in that space with him.
So after about 8-9 months at the ashram, I went on the road traveling with my teachers. I spent about 2-3 months with Karunamai, and then I traveled with Shiva Bali Yogi. During that time, he was preparing me for an intensive meditation retreat, where I spent 40 days in solitude, meditating 10 hours a day. During that time, I was tested on so many levels, and when I came out of that retreat, I was on fire. After that intensive retreat in isolation, that I started to explore the body and connecting with that same freedom of expression through the body. It was through dance, through contact improvisation, 5 rhythms, and Bhutto. I spent a period of about 2 years very intensively dancing and training and exploring. That eventually brought me to India. In India, I met with my teachers. I spent many months at different ashrams living with my teachers. And that brought me up into the Himalayan mountains, where I spent several months training it with a Bhutto master, a Japanese Bhutto master. When I first came to Cambodia, just when the bus crossed the border, I felt something in the air, some kind of peace, some kind of really natural, subtle calmness, and this at-homeness and this fertility. You know, like a soil, like anything you put in the soil will grow. I felt something like this immediately, and it's been continuous for the last 7 years. At that time, then I met some monks who were doing intensive meditation, and they agreed to lead me in a 7-day Cambodian-style Vipassana retreat. The monks were all in their 80s, so it was me and the monks in their 80s. And during those 7 days, it was lots of meditation. I shaved my head, I shaved my beard. And I was listening a lot to this Cambodian chanting. When I came out of the retreat, I looked up at the sky and had this like a lightning bolt, like a vision to set up a center for awakening here in Cambodia. At the time, I had about $500 to my name. I had no plan, no previous plans to open a center or to do anything of that sort. But it just came like that, and within 2 weeks, the wheel started turning and everything started. And throughout the last 7 years, it's grown naturally and organically, each phase that the center has been through. One of the great things about coming to Hariharalaya is you get to live in a traditional Cambodian village. So not only are we located in the village, but the center is set up like a traditional Cambodian village. Everything is made with natural material, with thatch and bamboo and wood. And then the staff that are working there are also from the local village. All of the Cambodian staff, over 25 members from the village, and they're also in my family. So it's like a big extended family. It's a kind of homestay in a traditional Cambodian village. And they're making the food, preparing the food with local fresh ingredients, Cambodian vegan food as well as international food. They're sweeping and cleaning the spaces, they're building and holding space. They're really welcoming us into their home, into their way of life.
It's day 5 and I got what I expected. I got new experiences and I got motivation to practice any day I wanted to. Highlights were the neighbors, the music from the neighbors.
Yeah, so this last year and a half has been really powerful for me in so many ways. You know, being able to connect with so many people is incredible, but you know, to have a really deep connection with Joel has been so special and important to me. Yeah, Joel Joel is, Joel is really my brother, and we've been in the trenches at times, but we've done such beautiful work together, and I'm sure we'll continue to in the future.
I've been working as the senior yoga teacher at Hariharalaya for almost a year and a half, and it has been the most incredible experience I could have asked for. Joel saw something in me that I'd never seen in myself when he offered me the position as the senior yoga teacher, and he really encouraged me to take the position, which under his guidance, under his inspiration and his teachings, I've been able to grow and blossom in so many ways as a teacher and as a person.
Word to describe what Hariharalaya is a space for awakening, a space to be real, a space to come back to oneself. So throughout the journey there was never any master plan, there was never any map or fixed destination, but it was always a question of following my heart, staying true to the passion, and trusting that that would lead exactly where I needed to be. Insane. And the whole journey has been so insane, so full of so many unexpected parts and so much, I mean, it's been unfathomable.